Now my turn.
The YouTube warning just came up, so I'm seeing it.
Warning.
Right.
Warning.
Be careful what you say. You're being live streamed.
Right?
Absolutely.
Trying to cut it.
Oh.
There we go. I think we're good to go.
Yep.
All right. Well, hello. It's us and Wayne. So
Yeah. It might be a short show.
might be a short night. Might be a good thing. Actually, it might work out really good because what we're talking about tonight is even us veterans struggle. And I'm going into surgery and I'm hurting. My numbers are all over the place. I'm feeling sorry for myself. It stinks right now. I don't feel good. Advil are messing me up. Pain, cortisol's got me going. I can't sleep at night. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm ready to get the surgery underway. But I think it's a good lesson on how much even us veterans, we know how to do this. We know what we're doing, but sometimes life just gets in the way. And you got to pick up where you're at and start again and keep pushing. And I got to quit feeling sorry for myself and trying to comfort myself and just get in. So it's kind of where we're at. I'm doing sardine challenge, or not sardine. I actually did mackerel tonight. So I'm going to try to do some mackerel instead of fasting because the Advil is tearing up my stomach without eating something with it. So I'm going for the mackerel and trying to keep things going
I went sardines.
best I can. He did some sardines. We did some bacon. And we're going to try to just, again, it's going to be slow and steady and do the best we can do to get through this. I want to get my body as prepped as I can before surgery. And get back on track as much as I can so that I'm ready for coming through the surgery as best I can. So that's my struggle right now that we're going to try to push through. But I think we've, even the ones that aren't on, I've talked to a lot of our veterans that are just, it's a moment right now that our veterans are struggling. And, my daughter-in-law is, everybody's just having one of those moments. It's like, okay, we just all need to pause and regroup and get back going and get our chemistry strong and get going in the right direction again. So that's
I was going to say that I think a lot of people have things going on that just are getting them out of their rhythm. So, I mean, like I had a cold for 2 weeks. It just totally threw me for a loop. So it is what it is. I mean, what's going on with the world right now has everybody uptight. Things in people's lives probably have every uptight. You got holidays coming in, the weather's changing, the summer's gone. I mean, there's a lot of factors going on out there. So it's a struggle for everybody. So don't beat yourself up too bad. Keep your head up. Just keep going. So, hello, everybody. We thought it was just going to be the Wayne and Lance and Tammy show tonight, but we got Linda and Olivia on tonight. So it's awesome.
Come on in, ladies. What we were just talking about is even us veterans struggle sometimes. I know, Olivia, you're rocking it out. Linda, you were doing pretty good. Lance and I are struggling a little bit. He's been sick. Wayne's been on travel, so he's been dealing with time zones and amazing foods at his fingertips. So we're trying to all get through. It's just a reset for all of us, I think. So come on in, let us know where you're at, what you're doing, and how it's going. Wayne, I know you're coming off of a trip to Taiwan, was it?
Yep. Yeah.
So come on in, fill us in.
Well, you guys are both dealing with like a physical hurdles. I mean, between a cold and a pending surgery, and pain. Trying to manage that. I was managing just being completely out of my normal schedule to the point where I was 12 hours different time zone wise.
Oh, wow.
So that is a change. And it's over with. It's good. I mean, I weathered it. Well, it's not completely over because it's still, my sleeping is messed up a bit. But you mentioned feeling sorry for yourself. I'm battling that a little bit. But I'm making good choices right now. So that's what I'm trying to focus on. So I did sardines today. I had 2 cans at noon. Anything other than that has been clean. Thank you for saying you threw bacon in there, because I have real bacon bits, just kind of a Sam's Club bag of real bacon. and I threw a couple tablespoons of that in with the sardines, with a couple tablespoons of mayonnaise. So I mean,
It'll
it's,
work.
it's if someone wants to be, nitpicking, it's more than sardines, but that's what I had. And Chronometer didn't say the numbers impacted it badly, so I rely on that. When I'm doing well, I do my tracking, and that's something to revert back to anyone who has had success in the past and is in a season they're not doing as well. Just go back to what you know.
Yep.
And reinvent. I did check my glucose this morning and ketones. Surprisingly, I expected my glucose to be through the roof, and it was only 101. So I'm like, what the heck,
Nice.
You're not as far off the rails as you thought.
Well, that plus I'm just thinking with my nights and my days mixed up, maybe my dawn effect is
Not sure when it's kicking in.
So I got, I'm laughing about it. So no, the numbers weren't as bad as I thought they'd be. So that's great.
Never challenge worse.
I would say mine were bad enough for all of us, so we're good. So we're awful.
Well, this is a lifetime thing. This is not a quick fix diet. So
Perfect.
Yep.
I'm not doing a diet. I'm doing a change in lifestyle. So, it's taking a while. Yeah, it took decades to get where I was, and if it takes, a handful of years to get back where I want to be or close to where I want to be, then so be it.
Right.
I think there is a big win, and for all of us that are veterans that have been through this, of realizing, it's not a time frame. This isn't a 21 days. This isn't a 21 months. This is a lifetime of making those changes. And it's going to ebb and flow. It's going to come and go. There'll be seasons where you can push and be amazing and have amazing numbers, and you can see your body healing and moving forward. And there's going to be a season where your body is just struggling. Life is kicking you. I'm in a season right now. I mean, I can't catch a damn break. And it's one of those things, my body shows it every time. I'm struggling with my sleep. I'm in pain. I'm taking Advils. You'll just get those seasons, but I still got to do the best you can do. And just like Wayne's saying, I can't feel sorry for myself. I got to lick my wounds and get up and still do the best I can do. So everybody's at that same mindset. We've got to get there and just realize this isn't just for a time frame. We're doing this forever. And it's going to be good in days, and it's going to be not so good in days. And we just got to keep going.
And you get knocked down, but just don't stay down. Get back up. You know what I mean? You might get knocked down for a little bit, but don't ever just lay there. Just get back up and start again.
And
that's
it's
all
one
you
choice
can do.
at a time. Sometimes it's one meal at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. If you're fighting through something, you just got to push through it as best you can. And I may be okay right now, but yesterday I wanted some damn cream in my coffee and I was feeling sorry for myself, and I had it. Today I was able to go to my macro and stay pretty good. But it just comes and goes, and it's like, you got to deal with your body where you're at, what you can handle. I know how to do this, but there's just times it's like, all right, I know I'm going to have to jump on and be ready before the next one. Before the next one starts, and keep moving in the right direction. So we're going to get there. Come on. Thanks, Wayne.
You said one thing too, Wayne. I want to point out that not necessarily everything is physical either. Like I said, I had a cold, Tammy had pain or whatever. There's a lot of mental in it too. I mean, even though your time frame of going ahead or behind 12 hours, that is going to throw you for a loop, even if you're in the best shape of your keto journey or whatever lifestyle journey you're in. No matter where you're at, that is going to throw your body and your system through a little bit of a loop. And no matter where you are, so to go and do what you did and not be totally off the rails, I mean, you got to give yourself a little bit of credit there, just because of that.
To come back with a glucose of only 101, I'm proud of you.
Oh, absolutely.
that's pretty good win coming from what you could have been.
Well, you'll see but again, I try not to manage myself and live and die by a number on a screen.
Correct.
Every morning. I could get up tomorrow and it'll be 135.
Yep.
You never know.
Depending on
But-
what you thought about last night, what problems you solved, what, how many times you tossed and turned or got up.
Yep.
And you can't live and die by a number for one particular day.
Right.
Yep.
That's why I like looking at charts. I like looking at averages. And it's just one data point.
That's so true.
And if it's 135 tomorrow, it is, so be it. I've been there before and I'll probably be there again, but the general trend is not there. So,
and I think that's a huge point too, is for people to realize, you can't take one number and say that that's what your health is.
Oh my gosh, I'm done. Yeah.
No, you have a bad day. Yep. But you make sure those good days outweigh the bad days. And I think the one day, what it shows you is, okay, I was off yesterday. I do not want to stay off for too many days in a row, but it helps you that one day and that one number, that one series will show you where you're at. Where do you need to tighten back up? Where do you need to not get too far off the rails? Then you can kind of jump it the other way and look at it as a big graph and an overall scale and see, okay, I've still made progress. I'm not going clear back to where I was, but I'm not going to let myself get so far off the rails that I go back up and lose all the momentum. So,
and trust the process.
Yep.
Perfect. Yep.
Everything that any of us learned that has brought about 80-90% of our success, we literally learned in the first hour that we studied keto.
Right.
Yep.
And you're listening to a guy who loves listening to podcasts, loves buying the next book that comes out, because there might be one more morsel of information that it could pick up that would be, the fountain of youth, it's not there.
No.
We all know what we need to do. We all know what is going to be the get us back to where we need to be. We will, eating grass-fed, grass-finished beef, be better than not? Maybe. Would hydrogen water be better? Maybe.
What little other
But
thing?
it still comes down to, I think you nailed it, is we know this chemistry. We know the difference of the way we do nutritional ketosis. This isn't just dirty keto that's out there. We watch our chemistry. We know our numbers. It is specific to each person on here. We know how to read it. Once you know how to read your chemistry, now you can add the hydrogen water. Now you can add all these little tidbits that we learned from so many places. And there's so much good information out there. But I think all of that information works so much better when you understand your personal chemistry. And that's the difference of this, this process and any other process that's out there. There's not many of them that I found that have a 12-step program that says, okay, if your chemistry is right here, now you're ready to push to the next step. If you're not here, then you need to hold tight. You need to hold space until your body catches up. So I just think it's a win of now we can go listen to all the other stuff and the podcast and apply each of those. But I think the still underlying win in it is understanding your personal chemistry. When I'm ready, I want to be able to add all those other things and get the results from them.
And like we've said before, and like Wade said before, it's basics. It is the basics. You go back to the basics to get rebooted, period. And those basics don't change. You can add stuff later that, kind of enhance the experience or whatever you want to say, but it's those solid foundation basics that will get you through every time.
And if there's anybody listening that's saying, I'm on this tonight because it's the free thing, because I don't have the money to do the other things, you don't need to. Nobody here is trying to make a buck off of you, selling you the next gadget or something.
Right. We'll save you money.
Yeah. We're all doing
the crap.
So you got to look at potentially other people's intentions when they say, well, this one thing will be the last thing you need and then everything will be perfect. No, stick with the basics.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. Back to the basics and learn your personal chemistry.
Yep.
And that's
how it applies to you.
Yep. How this whole process applies to you. Come on in, Linda.
Good job, Wayne. Hang in there, brother.
Hang in there, brother. Come on in, Linda. Tell us how you're doing.
Linda Hupp,
Linda.
because there's another Linda.
Oh, we
down
got two
here.
Lindas. That's right.
Double Linda.
Can we unmute you tonight? Or we have you stuck?
There she
Oh,
goes.
there you go. Look at us go.
Go, Linda.
Well, going okay, maintaining.
Good.
Just got back from a trip, so
Everybody's
came
going.
back to a whirlwind. So
Oh, that's right. You guys were doing a cruise, weren't you? Or-
no, we just went up to Bishop for the week, but we had trunk or treat at our church last night, so we did our trunk all up, and
Nice.
you know, we got second place.
Ooh, nice.
So anyway, so it's just been a whirlwind.
So how's your chemistry and what direction you going for this week coming?
Well, I gotta get back on. My stuff, we got home Friday night after like almost a 9-hour trip home.
Oh,
And I haven't unloaded my stuff out of the trailer yet.
Oh,
I haven't
man.
had a minute. Yeah, I get what I need out of there. As I need it. So that's on tomorrow's agenda, to unload that and get it shut down for the winter now.
Yep.
So
well, that'll be perfect though. Get yourself set up, get right back on track. You know how to do this. Jump right back into whatever level you feel you're at and do it successful for the next week. And then we'll push
Yep.
you again to the next level.
Get back on your schedule that you need to be
Yep.
and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Check that eating window, make sure the carbs are low, do all the basics, and then we'll be ready to push you again.
Yep, it certainly is a learning back and forth. In fact, the friends we were with, she said, well, I don't see why you struggle so if you feel so good on all of this. And I said, well, it's,
It's still hard.
66 years of a lot of
Absolutely. It's a lifestyle to change. It's not as easy as everybody thinks.
It's
And
a
it is,
lifetime of it's that lifetime of, eating that way that I'm trying to change. So I said it's part of the healing process. That's what I told her. It's part of the healing process.
Absolutely. And I think anybody listening, that is exactly where those addictions in the brain come in is, just because we can white knuckle and change a habit does not mean we're breaking that addiction yet in the brain. That takes long-term repetition. Go in and try it, come out and see if you succeeded. Go in and try it again, go a little bit further, a little bit deeper, you'll get there. But as you build that new neural pathway in the brain, that's going to heal that brain, break those addictions, build a new, healthier pathway. That just takes time. That doesn't happen overnight. You don't pick up the piano and learn how to play an instrument or something like that overnight. Just because you've read the book and know how to do it does not mean your body and your fingers and your brain are going to connect and, know how to do it. I mean, that's just, you've got to give your body the time. You got to give your brain the time, and being consistent in it and building that neural pathway is what's going to break those addictions in your brain. So it's not a constant fight, the
But
stuff that used to.
Kudos to you though, for what you just said about that. I mean, where you've came from the past year, last year, you wouldn't have said what you just said about being that lifestyle and what I'm up against could change. And you know what I mean? You weren't there. Look how far you've come already in just, a year or 8 months or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So kudos. I mean, it's starting, you're starting to process again, like you're telling somebody, so you're repeating it. And then you're like, oh yeah, okay, I just said that. Well, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. So, I mean, it's changing.
And I think as one addiction breaks and as you work through one step, you'll find the next one that's smacking you in the face.
Yep.
I'm learning right now, I can go through the habits. I mean, it doesn't bother me to be around fast food or go do that stuff doesn't bother me, but I'm really struggling right now being in pain. I've realized I'm not an emotional eater. I'm a pain eater. But it's like, I want that dopamine response. I want something to make me feel better. And I mean, I went back to my cream and my coffee and stuff that I need to kick out now to get ready for surgery, but I'm learning the things that used to bother me don't bother me, but I still have some addictions that I'm, issues that I'm trying to deal with. I am still looking for a dopamine response because I don't feel good. I hurt.
And the last time that, I mean, other than the past surgeries, but the last time that you felt that way was when you had your neuropathy, when you had your, dealing with what you had before and what you've given up. You don't want to go back there. And
going backwards isn't an option.
That pain will set that back off.
I mean, I used to live in constant pain, and anybody that's had neuropathy or any major pain like that, pain was a part of my everyday, every minute of the day life. I mean, the neuropathy didn't go away until I did this program. This is the first thing that ever touched my neuropathy in 18 years. So it was just, that pain is hard for me to deal with. It's just.
You don't like pain.
Well, nobody likes pain. So nobody likes pain. So it's like I can deal with so much at a time, but then it's like, all right, I've had enough. I'm ready to get this over with. But my point in that is how your addictions will change as you work through one step, and you're going to take one step further and one step further. Linda, I'm really proud of you. Like Lance said, where you're at now compared to where you were.
Oh, it's awesome.
You've come leaps and bounds. And as you work through this next step, you'll get stronger in it. You're going to move forward in it, and you'll find out, the next time something else comes around, you'll have it beat. So good job. Nice work.
That's for all the times where you.
Have you got a date yet?
Yes. November 8th. So.
November 8th. Okay.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks.
Week and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
I had all my blood work today and cardio clearance today, my EKG and all that today. And so that was good. But the blessing in it, the nurse that did my EKG and did a lot of my paperwork and stuff for me was all interested. She's like, how did you get off that medication? How, all the things that I removed, I used to have seizures, neuropathy, Oxycontin, Dilaudid, all those things that she used to go through are all getting removed off my chart because it's not an issue anymore. So even my anesthesia, when they were going down through that checklist, it was so nice to be able to share with somebody that, wow, yeah, you did have that. Yeah, you did have that. Yeah, you did have that. So it was kind of neat to see. Neat little wins. So, all right, come on in, other Linda. Come on in and tell us how you're doing.
Well, I was just looking at my numbers, and this time last week when I pulled my number, I had a drboz ratio of 554. Right, so my glucose was BG was 111, and my ketones were 0.2. So fast forward to this week. So I did my work this morning, and my glucose was 83, and my ketones were at 1.5. They've stayed up since I did that sardine challenge, and so with a drboz ratio of 54. So
amen.
I know, I'm pretty excited.
From 500 to 54 in a week.
I know. It's
hang out there, man.
And that just thrills me because for people that think you can't, that you don't have the power in your body to turn your health around, that right there just discredits all of that. You can turn your health around. In 1 week, you went from a total inflammatory state, your body is not healing, you're in an inflammation mode of life, to a DBR of 54, which means you are healing, you're cleaning up inflammation, you're building new cells. That DNA in the cell is, you're building a new healthy cell. So that is 1 week.
Even if you didn't go any further, look at how much health you're building. That is awesome.
Good job.
Yeah, and I have to say that so I quite like sardines, I have to say, but it's been, I know. What can I say? When I was in Spain as a teenager, I got the opportunity to eat them fresh off the boat, fresh grilled. Oh, I know, like in your life, you've never tasted anything so good. So this is not even a patch, but I don't mind. I really don't mind them at all. I can quite happily eat them. But I came home from work today, and that was not what I wanted. But I had just started the sardine challenge this morning, and I was like, I'll be darned if I fold already. So I thought, okay, I'll have my sardines, and I'll have a hot drink, and because it's just one of those miserable raw New England evenings right now. Yeah. So it's miserable here. And,
I think we're at the tail end of the rain that you're getting now.
Yeah, it's just.
Really?
I mean, it's not as like it's going to get colder through the winter, but we've been spoiled. We had some really nice weather last week, 70s and 80s. It was just fabulous to go from that to it's kind
Cool,
of
wet, and rainy.
Yeah,
Wet and
yeah.
rainy.
And what I wanted was, something more comforting. But I was like, nope, I'm gonna do it, darn it. So here I am. I've done it, and but the hot drink was just the job. So
Good.
plugging away. So I had an interesting thing. I don't know how much time there is for this. Is there anybody else who needs to check in? Because I can stop and.
It's Olivia, but she's in it for the long haul. I know.
Olivia is a superstar, right?
Right?
That's right.
Got her cape on and everything.
Yeah.
She's ready to go.
Yeah. All right. So I work with a person who is who's very unhealthy, and so her, she's a diabetic, and I had another coworker come to me today and ask me if I could, what could I do? What could I do to help this person, to be, to encourage her? And I said, well, I mean, all of us can talk to this person, but without her wanting to do it, it's a non-starter, right?
Right.
So anyway, this second coworker and I got talking about keto way of eating, and we spent probably 20 or 30 minutes talking about blood chemistry and the kind of dangerously small amount that I know. And she goes, "Oh, you should start a support group." And I was like, "No, I really,
You do it. I'll come and help you. You do it.
This is not on the list of things to do this week." So anyway, so my goal, I'm gonna buy a copy of Any Way You Can,
Yep.
and give it to this lady and say, listen, have a look at this book if you feel like it, and if you don't, that's fine. But I'm not going to be one of those people who nags you because you're an adult, and my family is joining in the conversation here. So
It's all good.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at this week. I'm really happy with where I am, and I'm super excited about those numbers, I have to say. And I'm concerned about one of my coworkers who's receiving encouragement from a lot of other people that we work with, but I think she's perceiving it as too much, and so she flees home and comfort eats. And I think that's what's happening. And I don't want to just be another person on that list of people who are. And if I say bullying, I don't mean bullying, but there's a lot of very well intentioned people who want to help her, but she doesn't seem to want to do it. So,
and Linda, I can tell you, I think that is the hardest part of being a coach, and family people that and love are the hardest ones to watch. And first of all, I want to applaud you for leading by example.
Yep.
You're leading by example. The people are obviously seeing what's going on around you. And what is going on with your health. And that is the best medicine you can give to somebody else, is to lead by example and keep going. And as your chemistry changes, as your health changes,
somebody walked by and unplugged her.
Somebody unplugged her. But I think there is a big win in what she's doing, is, just being able to lead by example. And it is so hard to watch the people and love that you can help. You can reverse diabetes in a heartbeat. We all know that. And it's just hard. Here she goes.
She's coming back in.
Come back. Cynthia, I'm glad you made it, hon. I can't wait to talk to you.
But, a lot of the times, there she is. All you can do is present. All you can do is say, hey, there is another way if you're so inclined. Or I have something that might help you. I'm not going to. Here it is. It's just this. And you present it. And
it's the basics of letting them know there is an answer.
There's a different way.
There's a different way of doing it, but they have to want it, and it's one of those, the hardest part as being a coach is wanting it. I want it more for people that I know and love than they want it for themselves. And it's not because they don't want it. It's because they do not understand what the power this chemistry gives you. And that's hard to get that point across. It's hard to get, because you think of all the things we learn over time. We've got to unlearn everything we've had beaten our heads for decades. We've got to relearn the new science and the new chemistry of our body. That is not easy to do. And that is not easy to convince people, especially people on, like, most of our group are people with serious illness. You know, when you're going against everything they've taught you, everything they're telling you to do, it's very, very hard to push and say, you know what, I'm willing to take that risk on my health. I'm willing to take that risk on what I know I can do for my body. But it is really hard to tell somebody, that diabetic, maybe you shouldn't eat that bowl of oatmeal with that glass of orange juice for breakfast, even though that's what the standard American diet says you should be eating.
Or what that's your doctor saying that too.
And you have somebody telling them that. It's hard to go against that. So they have to want it, and they have to be willing to take responsibility for their own damn health. You know, there's a part in that you can encourage all you want, but it's what I put in my body is my responsibility.
And they have to want to ask that question, ask that next question. Well, why do I have to do this? Well, what is that going to affect? You know, and in that whole circumstance, there are many different answers. Not everybody is the same. So
it's not, but the answers to what will fix most of those problems, that is the same.
That is the same.
You know, I mean, I always laugh at my son because he always sits there and Adam will always say, Mom, you sound like it's the cure for everything. And I'm like,
it cures a lot.
It is. It's the best damn cure for more multiple things than I've ever heard, you know, but it's, again, healing at that cellular level. So I encourage you to keep leading by example for your friends.
And keep presenting.
Kudos to you for going for 500. And that's just the perfect example of a DBR of 500 a week ago to a 50 this week. You're healing. You're changing your body chemistry. I am so proud of you, and just congratulations.
Ride that out.
Yes.
Right there. Just stay there and stay there as long as you want to go.
Don't work no longer.
Yep.
So good job. But
good
if she ever wants any help, invite her into group. If she wants to come and listen, invite her into the Facebook group. If she just wants to get in and be nosy and read and not be confronted or anything like that.
YouTube channel.
Send her any of the information that you can.
Website.
Everything. All of our stuff is open to the public.
Absolutely.
So it's all free and open to the public. So
go poke around, check out.
Yes. So good job.
Now,
Cynthia.
I was just saying, you got
to check on Cynthia. I got two rock stars right here.
Big pick right here.
Got Olivia and Cynthia left. So come on in. How have you been? We've missed you.
Glad to be back. I needed this. I really did. It's
good.
I had that hysterectomy and bladder surgery in July, and it went very, very, very well. I had myself worked up into a real swivet. You know, I was just had myself terrified of the surgery, which didn't help matters. And but it went very, very well. And the hardest thing about it, they all did it internally. Everything was internal. So
nice.
Yeah. So the hardest thing was to remember that for 8 weeks I couldn't pick up anything more than 5 pounds. You know.
Yep.
And fortunately, my husband is running around behind me and grabbing things, saying, no, no, no.
Yes, way to go, man.
And Lance need to have a bonding session.
Kudos.
I felt so good. You know, it was just amazing. And then September was, August or October, I'm still rattled. Had a couple of trips where, I fell off the wagon, and that wasn't real good. But October, end of September, dear friend of 50 years got sick and died.
Oh.
And the day after her funeral, my son tells me that his girlfriend of 12 years and wife of 5 years wants a divorce.
Oh man, the hits just keep on coming.
And my friend has 2 sisters that live in the South, but they're both older. They're not in good health. They could not travel. Barb had no other family up here at all. So I've known her for 50 years. We've shown horses together. We've done all this stuff together forever. And so Mike and I are emptying the house and taking care of it.
God love you for doing that. And that's
and we went from she had all these animals because that's what kept her going to the barn every day, taking care. So now we took in her horse, her standard poodle, and one of her cats.
Wow.
So you got your own little farm going.
Our menagerie has grown quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. So, but they're all adjusting. They're all, this horse is 22 years old, never been in a horse trailer, never been off the place.
Oh my.
And my farrier, the horseshoer, knew him, and he went over and with me with the horse trailer. And I knew my energy was bad. I knew that I couldn't go in there because my nerves were just on edge. And he would have gone, oh, hell no, you are not safe. I'm not going near you.
Right.
So, all of a sudden I heard a thunk and then thunk, thunk, thunk. And he was in the horse trailer.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well,
And
Cynthia,
so
I think that's a great lesson, though, of it's not just physical things that kick us back. The emotional things in life just stop you too in your tracks and make it difficult and hard. But I think, again, that chemistry will carry you through emotionally just as much as it's physically.
My chemistry has been all over the lot. I have fallen into the garbage so many times. I have just
fallen into the garbage.
I have to be back here because I'm killing myself. I can't do that. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at that term you just used, falling into the garbage. I am going to steal that.
He's going to be using that
That's
one.
Awesome.
I can see a post coming.
Oh yeah, we got to post that. I give Cynthia credit on that. Even as Cynthia says, you can fall into the garbage,
but you don't stay there. You got to get back in. And again, when you know better, you do better. And Cynthia, get through the muck and the mire, and you know how to do this. So get right back in, connect with your tribe.
I do. And what you're going through with yours and what you said about not using it as an excuse to allow yourself to I just read that today. And I thought, I got to go tonight. I got to be there tonight because I just feel like I've been wallowing alone. And I know I don't have to do that. And that day that I posted for prayers and, you guys really lifted me and I appreciate it so much.
Good.
You know what? I think that's the beauty of having a tribe. And I think that's why I said, even us veterans, and I mean, most of us are veterans on this page right now. And even we have to take a step back and reevaluate and listen and regroup. And then we push again, but sometimes you just got to hold space and that's okay, but I think as life, whether it's emotional or physical, having this tribe means so much to so many of us that we don't have the support at our family or we don't have the support outside of this. This is our support and family, and we truly are family on here. And I love that. So,
I mean, and it doesn't matter how long you're gone. You always come back and jump right back in.
It's the family without all the emotional garbage baggage going.
There you go.
It's the unconditional love we all wanted as a family, I think. Right. You come back in when you can and it's all good. You don't know any explanations. You just jump back in and be happy and welcome. So
come on back in and
I love it.
Get back to work.
Well, we're glad you're here, Cynthia. Jump back in, get back over on the page, checking in and see how you're doing.
Yep.
And blessings to you. And
back to basics, girl.
It's hard. And
absolutely. Yeah. I made chaffles tonight. So that was, because I needed something chewy. I wanted something to sink my teeth into.
One step at a time.
Egg and ground pork rinds.
There you go.
That's it. That's a chaffle.
That works.
Bacon and chaffle iron. It's perfect. So, okay.
I love how simple.
Good job, Cynthia. Prayers to you.
Thank you.
Yes, hang in there. Prayers for everything going on in your life. Come on in, Olivia, our rock star in the house. Look at her. Olivia's killing it, so we're gonna let Olivia lead the group tonight. She's got the numbers and everything. She's going great. Come on in.
Hi everybody. Yes, so last Wednesday I finished the week 5 of the 72-hour fast, and my DBR is still 4. At the end of
Wait a minute, say that again. Again, it's not 14, it's not 40.
4.
4.
Oh.
And so that was on Wednesday morning. And then on Thursday, I decided, well, I haven't had nuts in a long, long time. So I had like less than a quarter cup. And so the next morning, my glucose went up to 114, which that hadn't happened.
Wow.
In since I started having good numbers in September. But my ketones were still 3, so my DBR stayed at 38. But I thought, no, I'm not going to do that again.
So but imagine if your glucose would have been up in a normal range, what those nuts would have done. And I think and most people will look at nuts as a keto food, and they would put those in. So what a great learning teaching moment, because that is exactly why you have to track your numbers. And Olivia knows how to do that. She knows what she's doing. In less than a quarter of a cup of nuts.
What kind of nuts?
A little mixture of pecans, a little bit of walnuts, and like just 2 or 3 pistachios.
Oh, wow.
So that was enough to make that glucose go that high. That is a huge lesson of learning. And what a neat thing, because most people look at nuts as, oh, these are keto friendly. No, they're not. If he can't eat a quarter
almonds.
Yeah, but it doesn't even matter what kind of nut it is. If you open the can, he thinks that's a single serving, and it doesn't matter if the can is many or this many.
That goes back to another issue that I have.
Yes, and it used to be, I don't know, about a year and a half or 2 ago, if I even had a quarter cup of them, I would end up eating, those big bags from Costco.
Yep.
I could eat the whole thing by myself. But this time I had that amount and that was it. I don't know.
I couldn't even have, I would rather not have them than have a quarter cup.
Okay. So who on here, tell me this.
That's like a switch.
Who is what's it called? Abstainer? Who needs to go without totally, and who can do a little bit and stop? Can anybody do a bite and stop? Really?
You're special.
If I want something really bad, I can have a bite of it and either chew it up and spit it out, or I can have a bite and be done.
She can take one of those little chocolate bars,
chew it up and spit it out. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry. That's just disgusting.
She can take one of those little Hershey bars and take one bite out of it and then put the rest away. It's like,
don't bother me.
Oh, I can't do that.
Because once he starts,
I used to not be able to, but I think now with the nuts that I was able to do that with last week, I think that I can do that now. But before, no. I'd take a little bite of a candy bar and then I'd have the whole thing.
No, I don't want it. I have to just take that away from me.
I'm a recovering addict. I think I'm one of those people that there was another food plan I tried for a while, and I remember the quote there that they had spoken to an alcoholic, and the alcoholic said, I'm not going to have a drink today, probably have one tomorrow, probably get falling down drunk tomorrow, but today I'm not going to have a drink.
Right.
And I think that's where I have to be right now, that like all those people who can have that one bite, God bless you, and I wish I was that person, but I haven't been that person since I was very, very young. And
I'm lucky that I don't do drugs or drink, because I would do it 100%. I would be a pro at it.
Right. I think there is something to be said though, how we were raised in our childhood. Lance had one of those families that if he ate the whole bag of chips, mom would bring him a whole new bag home tomorrow.
Or in the next couple of days.
Whatever. It was just an option. In our family, groceries are bought on one day, and that's going to last you for the next 2 weeks.
You got one piece of bologna on your sandwich.
You got one piece of bologna. You had one cookie. We weren't allowed to go to the fridge, go in and get a stack of cookie, things like that. As much as it sounded awful as a kid, it really did teach us that no, you don't need 5 cookies. You need a cookie.
You can have a bite of a candy.
We used to buy the fruit snacks for the kids, and we would say that they're in those little single serving pouches. Okay, you go grab a single serving pouch, and that would be your snack. Not for Lance. Lance just grabs 6 or 7 or 8 packages.
It's the box.
That's the box. It's the serving size, right?
Right. So,
You're,
you know, but
singing my song, Lance.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
The mindset that you get in it, I think, is truly, you know, something to be said about how we are as adults, how our childhood, you know, affects us. And I think there is something to be said on the addiction in the brain of I had to learn to curb that and control that. He didn't have to.
I was goal oriented. When I opened the box of the bag, it was to get to the bottom.
So, but the mindset of learning the differences in that.
But kudos to you, Olivia. If you can take a quarter cup of nuts,
that's a win.
That's a win right there.
I used to could not, though. This is a new thing, and it feels good, you know, because
Right?
I'm like, oh, okay. Because before I would not have been able
But
to
don't
do
it
that.
feel good to know that you now control the food instead of the food controlling you?
Yes.
And that's what it comes down to, is whatever level you're at, whatever, you know, whatever you're pushing or whatever your vice is, it doesn't matter if it's sex, drugs, rock and roll, carbs, sugar, whatever it is, just put it in a position of you're in control of it. It's not controlling you and deterring your health, you know, no matter what it is.
I also wanted to go back to what Wayne had said about, you know, there's emotions can really get into it as well. Because I remember last year and the year before that, you know, if I bawl and, you know, get off the wagon, so to speak, you know, inside I was like, there was this turmoil, you know, it's like, well, why did you do that? You know, that's going to take you off track. It's going to get you out of ketosis. And then it'd be like, well, no, I'm going to try again. You know, it was just this big back and forth in your mind about beating yourself up or forgiving yourself because you did. And I think that adds to the whole, you know, worrisome stuff going on in your head with it. And now I'm more at peace with, you know, okay, so I chose to have some nuts and test it. But yeah.
But you succeeded, and look where you've come in a year, you know, so.
And I do think that is a huge part of it is that back and forth in your own mind, you know, and of beating yourself down. And that plays a big role in it. I think it plays more of a role than we actually give it credit for. So, I mean, because, you know, well, I'm trying to do this. Well, I did this. Well, yeah, but why did you do that? And you try to figure that out. And it's that whole conflict. Just leave it alone. Just stop. Just put it down. Just, yes, you did that. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do that tomorrow, or I'm not going to do that next hour, you know,
again,
and it's hard.
That is grace. You know, that is the grace is as close as your next meal.
Yep.
You don't beat yourself up for a week over it. You don't, whatever. It's like you wake up and you make a better choice tomorrow, you know, and you do the best you can do. And some days that's going to be rock star status. And some days you're going to hit
garbage. You're going to be in the garbage.
But you're not going to stay there. You know, you're going to dig your way back out and get on an even ground of breaking those addictions and building new neural pathways. And that's just the win and the beauty of this, of learning to read your chemistry. So that being said, I want to make sure everybody knows, I'm going to give you the plan. I've not been able to finish out my 8 weeks of clean 72s that I was shooting for. So we were on week 5, I think, all of us coming off. Is it week 5? I think
4 or 5, somewhere in there.
Coming off of there. I'm going to go to the sardines. I'm still going to hold myself accountable for those 72 hours to try to do the macro or the sardines or something, but I am definitely going to be biohacking. I am going to be drinking my pucker probably every day, every other day to keep these ketones in circulation. I'm going to go back on my MCT capsules. I'm making sure I'm getting my vitamin D in, and I'm going to be drinking the ketones. And that is just to help my chemistry stay as good as I can keep it right now. And I want to go into surgery in ketosis. I did talk to my nurse and everybody, the anesthesiologist and everything, about not giving me glucose. So that is a win. Everybody was on board with that. They were fine with it. That wasn't a problem. The only problem I'm having is because my mastectomy is my right side. So they won't use this arm for an IV. This is my surgery arm. So they won't use this arm for an IV. So I'm down to foot or neck for an IV for my anesthesia. So say a prayer. But I will be biohacking my way through this to keep everything as good as I can control it. Come on in, Linda. You got a question?
I do. So my question was to do with the biohacking and the using the MCT oils and So I haven't, I'm one of those people, I kind of describe myself, if I was a horse, I would be a Clydesdale, right? I would be that good, solid working stock, that just goes out to work. So I'm blessed with good health. And I haven't had to deal with, major chronic pain. So I guess this whole thing about the pain knocking us off, knocking our numbers out of whack. So, I mean, you haven't done anything else, right? You haven't eaten stuff you're not supposed to. You're just getting up in the morning and you're measuring your blood, and your blood is the glucose is high and the ketones are low, and it's because you're dealing with a stress and with this pain.
So that cortisol rises with pain. So if cortisol rises, glucose also rises and ketones will drop. So I keep these these are on my desk all day long. So the
MCT, those are
MCT capsules. I
have those. Yeah.
Just use those. And it's just one of those because I know how my body reacts horrible, even to an Advil. So if I take an Advil, you can bet your butt it's going to knock me out for 3 hours. And I don't feel well. It tears my stomach up, and my glucose, everything starts rising. And I don't know if it's more of the pain.
Her system is very, very sensitive.
I am so sensitive to everything. So,
and it's on an upswing sensitive. It's not necessarily a downswing sensitive. I mean, if you have to bet on anything, bet on her numbers being high, her glucose being high, her ketones being low. That's what you're going to bet on, because it takes a while for those numbers for her to come back down into where she wants them. I mean, she really has to work rock.
You have to work the system hard
every day, hard. I mean, she has to push hard to get your numbers.
I mean, I would
to
have
get
to
a DBR of 50. She will have to be on it for a month and no cheats and
fasting,
be solid. I mean, just every choice has to be perfect for her to get down to the 50s, and it's going to take her a month and a half to do so.
Okay, so the doing the BHB and the MCT oil, the BHB is the short term, a quick turnaround, and then the MCT oil hopes to
stimulate my liver to make them. And just knowing those ketones in circulation, because my brain's going to suffer from the anesthesia, I'm going to struggle with all of those issues are going to come on. And I know they all affect me. So it's not like, gee, I'm over this. I know what my body does for surgery because I get to practice that quite often.
And these are quick little tools because we haven't been able to prepare like we wanted to. Like for my back surgery, I was able to prepare for probably 6 months before my surgery. And I was the fittest. I was the least amount I weighed. I was so far into ketosis. I had prepped everything. She doesn't have that much time to get there. So we're going to use these tools to try to boost up the numbers that we can, so that when she goes in there, it won't be as detrimental to her.
And when I come out, I will do the exact same thing. I will go right back into my routine, my fasting, as much as I can, as fast as I can. But in the meantime, I'm going to help my body every step of the way, make ketones, keep those ketones in circulation with the BHB and the ketones, so that I can keep my brain health going as best I can. I just have to give my body every jumpstart and help that I can through these stressful situations.
And this is another thing too, where she knows her body, how her chemistry works, and what affects her chemistry, what doesn't affect her chemistry. So that is a learning lesson that she's learned, but you can also learn that too with your body, because your body is different than hers, than Wayne's, than Olivia's. Everybody is different, and they process and do this whole lifestyle altogether different. I mean, even we eat the same foods, and we're night and day different. So
he can jump in, he can screw off and goof around and half-ass it, and in 3 days have himself clean back up and back on track. I
would say within a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I could be rocking it out back into, 60s, 70s, close to 50s on the DBR. I mean, and I'm blessed with good health, the same way you are. I mean, it's just, I haven't had anything. I'm just blessed,
and I think that's where we all learn, we do learn to read our body. My body is I mean, I've been fighting my health for 21 years since chemo went in me. So it's just that learning to readjust at every level and learning how to overcome the struggles and the things that I've had, the heart attack, the cancer, all the things that I have to deal with. But again, I wouldn't be here. I honestly feel like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this program. I would not have, first of all, made it through the heart attack. The health from being on the Oxycontin and the Dilaudid and all the anxiety medications, seizure medications, all of that stuff was just taking its toll on my body. My heart was checking out, I walked with a walker 5 years ago, so when you learn, as much as I get down and bummed that my body is throwing one more curveball at me,
at least you're here to have it throw a curveball.
I'm still here to duck the curveballs.
Yep.
So we're going to do the best we can do, but just know I am going to be biohacking. So anybody that's going into a surgery, when you're really struggling with that, use your tools in your toolbox.
What they're there for.
They're not meant to be crutches all the time. They're meant to, we want to learn this chemistry to teach my body how to make the ketones. I want to teach my body how to do all of this. But when my body can't do it because I'm hurting and I can't sleep, I cannot lay down, I can't anything. It's just a mess. I am going to help my body every step I can. And if that means BHB and MCT for the next 3 months, because it's 3-4 month recovery, that's what I'm going to do.
And mackerel.
And more mackerel. I ordered cases. I have stacks of mackerel in my cupboard now.
I gotta ante up with my sardines to catch up.
Right. But needless to say, we're going to use the tools that we know how to use.
Yep.
And that's my point in that. It doesn't matter what you're going through, just like Cynthia is going through the emotional devastation of things right now. It's the same process. She's going to biohack her body if she needs it. She knows enough to know if she needs it and if she don't. If you can push through it and don't need it, go back to the basics, use the biohacking where you need it. I'm not afraid to use my tools because the only tools in my toolbox are good tools. I don't put a bunch of crap in there. It doesn't mean jump off the rails and go whatever. It just literally means I'm going to stick with what I know works. And the clean MCT, the BHB, and I do use the pucker. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but there is no sweeteners, no flavors, no nothing in here. It is just straight ketones for my liver and brain to learn how to make ketones.
And don't drink them.
Don't drink them solid out of the thing.
Ask
me why I know that. My son tried. He thought he would just chug it right out of the little vial.
I tried it
listen
too.
to mom and say that, hey, water that down.
It hurts.
So,
absolutely hurts.
But these are the ones I use. I have better luck using the pucker than I do any of the sweeteners. If I have the sweeteners, then other issues start happening. And again, it doesn't matter if that sweetness is coming from stevia, sugar, an apple, or a candy bar. That sweetness on my tongue stimulates sweetness in my brain, making me think sugar is coming. So don't do it. So use the tools where you can. Any questions over there? How do we have? Everybody doing good over there?
Yep.
All right. Any questions here? Anybody not sure where you're going for the week? We will be on. We are still doing brains course. Any of my people in the group, I'm giving the $750 coupon for anybody wanting to do Dr. Boz's brains course with me. Right now, we're meeting at Wednesdays at noon, and we may actually add another class on that as soon as I get my schedule figured out here. But right now we're doing Wednesdays at noon. And what we're going to do on that is we're going to do one module a week, and we just keep repeating over and over. So I'm hoping as we grow and get the brains group up and going again, you'll have a repeat system of being able to come in and watch videos. We do it just kind of like we do a support group. We watch the video together, then we come back and work it as a group together and talk about it and see how it affects your family, who you can apply it to in your life. There is something in this course, in the brains course, for everybody. And you'll watch one video and this time it may be good for you, but the next time you watch it, you're going to think of, oh my gosh, this is my sister or my brother, or whatever, somebody that you know and love. You will learn something from every module in this course. It is not a cheap course, but there's a reason for that. This is her baby. She has done so well on it. And I love the information in this course. So anybody that wants in, all of my people, it's JTK 750. If you go to the website, journeytoketo.com, and use that code, it will save you $750 off the course. If you're a cancer survivor, text me and I will send you a special code for being a cancer survivor. That'll save you a little bit extra. Anything over there? Good.
I'm talking to somebody. Rebecca finally found our live stream on YouTube.
Welcome,
She's from California, just like Linda Hop. So they're over on the West Coast, but she was asking, she was feeling the flu symptoms last night.
Oh.
Is this because of the ketones? And I actually told her, I said, all depends on where you are in your journey. But could possibly be.
If it's a keto flu, we have cures for all the keto flu. Flu can be headed off and eased over. So if you think it's the keto flu, my first go-to is, first of all, make sure you got enough liquids in you, because if you're peeing out all that inflammation, you can get dehydrated really quick. Make sure your minerals are up. Make sure your electrolytes, electrolyte drops, the LMNTs, your sodium. Make sure you're using good Redmond salt. Keep all those basic tools. Make sure those are all good, clean tools that you're using, and make sure you're really using them, because if you're at the beginning of your journey, level 7 OMAD. Okay, great. So you're getting down to 1 meal a day. That glucose will be coming down, which means the ketones will start rising, which means you're going to be peeing out extra inflammation. So if you're getting that keto flu, I would, again, stick with water, minerals, the electrolytes, Redmond's real salt. Stick with all those basics and see if it gets you over the hump.
Even if you like keto flu. Even if you like coffee, coffee and salt.
Coffee and salt. So all of those things, make sure you're taking care of the basics, because those are things that's going to get you over that keto flu faster. You know, you drink the ketones if you need it, BHB or the MCTs if you need them. All those little tools will help get you over a hurdle of not feeling well. And especially some people, I don't know how old you are, Rebecca, but I know any of us north of 40, 50 years old that are dealing with hormone issues, it is a little bit longer to get through that process, to get over to getting fat adapted. That's a rough time, because if you're at that 1 meal a day, if you're doing that OMAD and you're not totally fat adapted yet, there's a struggle, and you have to pause and wait for your hormones to catch up and then push. And it's hard. And you may have a week or so of not feeling the greatest, but you'll get there.
Good things are coming.
Good things are coming, and don't jump ship. Don't jump ship just because you're not feeling well. If you're not feeling well, there's a fix for most issues. And if you're still struggling, text me, call me, message me on Messenger, whatever, and we'll do process of elimination and seeing what we can do to
I even put the Facebook group link up there in the comments as well, in the chat. Check us out. There's a lot of information over there, a lot of veterans. Ask your questions over there. If you can't get a hold of Tammy, that's a great place to ask a question, because there's plenty of us veterans on there that check that page, and we'll comment and we'll help you. So don't be afraid to check that out as well.
Yep. And if you go one step further and you need some one-on-one coaching or in the group coaching, go to the journeytoketo.com and you can get in and actually schedule, and learning how to schedule straight from the website.
So proud.
All kinds of new electronic stuff kicking in. So we're getting there one step at a time, guys. But if anybody needs anything, please reach out. Let us know what you need and how we can help you. But we will be live again next Monday. It's the following Monday that will be up in the air on how well I'm kicking.
Whether she's drugged out or not.
Right. That's how well the drugs have kicked in by then. So either that, or I might have some family coming over and helping him. So you might get to meet Bug again.
I was going to say, and maybe I'll just jump on and see if I can't work these keyboards.
All four?
I'll try.
We always divvy up routine. You know, I got these 2 screens and he has these 2 screens. So we usually can divvy up and do it. I'm like, I don't know how I do it by myself. I lean on him for so many things. I'm so blessed. So love it. So, okay, guys, if anybody needs anything, reach out. We love you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
And we will
back to the basics. You guys can do